Hey, Reddit. Long-time lurker, first-time poster. I never thought I'd be sharing something like this, but here we are. I guess I just need to vent, and maybe someone out there has been through something similar. So, a bit of background: I, 17M, am a senior in high school, and my little sister, Lacey, 15F, is a sophomore. We've always been close, probably closer than most siblings our age. Our parents work crazy hours, so it's usually just us at home, which means we've had to look out for each other. Everything was fine until about a month ago when weird stuff started happening at school. At first, it was small, like certain teachers acting weird around Lacey, kids whispering when she walked by, and some of her friends suddenly ignoring her texts. I figured it was just high school drama, and honestly, I didn't have the energy to care. That is, until one day, I walked into school and felt every single eye in the hallway lock onto me. I knew something was wrong. I just didn't know how bad it was going to get. Oh, I'm walking through the hallway, and it feels like I've got a giant target on my back. People aren't just staring, they're whispering, nudging each other, and giving me these weird looks like I just kicked a puppy. I finally catch up to Lacey at her locker. She looks awful, eyes red like she's been crying, hands shaking as she fumbles with her books. Before I can even ask what's going on, one of her so-called friends, Emma, walks by and mutters, "Guess it runs in the family." Now, I don't have a short temper, but something about the way she said it set me off. Before I can go full interrogation mode, Lacey grabs my arm and just shakes her head. "Not here," she whispers. That's when I realize, whatever this is, it's bad. Like, really bad. I don't even make it to first period before someone shoves their phone in my face. It's a screenshot from some anonymous Instagram account, and the caption? "The Stevens family, like brother, like sister." Gross. My stomach drops. I have no idea what the hell is happening, but I know one thing for sure: this is about to ruin our lives. By lunchtime, the entire school is talking about it. At this point, I still don't know the full story, but whatever's going around is making people look at Lacey and me like we're absolute freaks. I finally corner one of my teammates from basketball, Jason, and demand to know what's going on. He hesitates, shifts uncomfortably, then sighs. "Dude, people are saying you and Lacey are, like, together." I blink. Together? What the hell does that even mean? Jason grimaces. Like, dating. For a second, I can't even process what he just said. It's like my brain short circuits. Then it hits me all at once, and my stomach churns. Lacey is my sister. My actual, biological sister. And people at school somehow think we're in some kind of sick relationship? Where the hell is this coming from? I practically yell, making a few heads turn. Jason lowers his voice. Someone posted screenshots from some texts, messages that were, like, really affectionate. Stuff about sneaking into each other's rooms at night, missing each other, blah blah. It's all over Instagram and Snapchat. I feel like I'm going to throw up. I don't have texts like that with Lacey. Someone must have faked them. But why? And who would even do something this messed up? I don't even finish my lunch. I just grab my bag and march straight to find Lacey. Because if I'm freaking out, I can only imagine what this is doing to her. And I'm right. Because when I find her, she's in the bathroom, crying her eyes out. I've never seen Lacey like this before. She's curled up in the corner of the bathroom, hugging her knees, her whole body shaking. I crouch down next to her, and the second she looks up at me, I feel something in my chest snap. Her face is blotchy from crying, her mascara smudged. I don't know what to do," she whispers. Everyone thinks it's true. I sit down next to her, my back against the cold tile. It's not. We know it's not. We just need to figure out who's behind this and shut it down. She lets out a hollow laugh. You don't get it, do you? The more we deny it, the more people believe it. And the texts, they look real. I pull out my phone and start scrolling through the disaster unfolding on social media. She's right. Someone has gone all out with this. There are entire threads analyzing the fake messages, screenshots being reposted with captions like "WTF is wrong with them?" And "This is why homeschool exists." Worst of all, our classmates are actually arguing in the comments, some people calling it fake, others swearing it's obvious now that they think about it. I clench my fists. Who the hell would do this? Lacey shakes her head. I don't know. But if we don't figure it out soon, we're screwed. By the time the final bell rings, it's obvious this isn't just some stupid rumor that'll die out in a day. Lacey and I barely make it to the parking lot before my phone buzzes with an email. Subject: urgent meeting, principal's office. I glance at Lacey. You get the email too? She nods, looking like she's about to pass out. Without saying a word, we turn around and head back inside. The walk to the office is a nightmare. Whispers, stares, some people straight up move out of the way like we're contagious. My blood is boiling by the time we step into the principal's office, but I barely get a chance to say anything before we see who's waiting for us. Mom and Dad. And they do not look happy. The principal, Mrs. Carter, clears her throat. Sit down. We sit. Lacey is gripping the hem of her sleeve so hard her knuckles are turning white. Mrs. Carter folds her hands on her desk. I assume you know why you're here. I bite the inside of my cheek, forcing myself to stay calm. If it's about the fake texts, yeah. We know. Mom lets out a sharp sigh. Fake or not, this has gone way too far. Your father and I had to leave work for this. The school is getting calls from parents, for God's sake. Lacey's voice is barely above a whisper. We didn't do anything. Mrs. Carter gives us the look, the one adults give when they think you're lying but don't want to outright say it. The situation is complicated. Regardless of the validity of these messages, it's causing a major disruption. I scoff. Yeah, because someone's spreading lies about us. Mom rubs her temples. Dad, who has been silent this whole time, finally speaks. The school wants to separate you two for the time being. Lacey's head snaps up. What? Mrs. Carter nods. Starting tomorrow, you'll have a new schedule. Different lunch periods, different classrooms when possible. It's for your own good. My hands ball into fists. You're punishing us for something we didn't do? We're trying to de-escalate the situation, Mrs. Carter says in that infuriating calm and reasonable voice. Lacey looks at me, panicked. I don't want to be alone in this. Neither do I. But looking at the faces around the room, I realize something terrifying: nobody is on our side. Not even our own parents. Lacey doesn't say a word on the ride home. Mom and Dad are talking in hushed voices up front, but I tune them out. My brain is running in circles, trying to figure out who could have done this. Who hates us this much? As soon as we get home, Lacey bolts upstairs. I follow, shutting the door behind us. We need to figure out who's behind this, I say. Someone faked those texts. That means there's a way to prove it. Lacey hugs her knees. No one's gonna believe us. I sit down next to her, trying to think. Who had access to our phones? She hesitates. No one. Her face suddenly drops. What? I ask, already dreading the answer. She swallows hard. I let Emma borrow my phone a couple weeks ago. Just for a few minutes. She said her battery was dead, and she needed to check something. Emma. Her so-called best friend. The same one who muttered, "Guess it runs in the family." I feel my pulse pounding in my ears. Lacey, what if it was her? Lacey shakes her head quickly, like she doesn't want to believe it. No. She wouldn't. I mean, why would she? I don't know. But something tells me we're about to find out. The moment Emma's name leaves Lacey's mouth, I know we have to confront her. No waiting, no overthinking. If she had anything to do with this, I want answers now. Lacey hesitates when I suggest it. What if she really didn't do it? I shake my head. Then we rule her out. But we need to know. We don't even bother texting her. We show up at her house. Emma's mom answers the door, surprised to see us. Oh. Lacey, honey, is everything all right? Can we talk to Emma? Lacey asks, her voice tight. Emma's mom glances between us like she knows something's up, but she calls Emma down anyway. A minute later, Emma appears at the door, arms crossed. What do you guys want? Her tone is off. Defensive. Not even pretending to be friendly. Lacey notices it too. You lied to me, Lacey says, voice shaking. Did you fake those texts? Emma scoffs. Seriously? You came all the way here to accuse me of that? I step forward. You used Lacey's phone. You could have sent messages to yourself, deleted them, and then screenshotted them later. Emma rolls her eyes. That's insane. Do you even hear yourself? Lacey grips her sleeves. Then prove it. Emma just smirks. And I swear, my blood turns to ice. Oh, babe, she says sweetly, it's not about proving it. It's about who people believe. Lacey's breath catches. You? Emma tilts her head. Come on, Lacey. You really thought you could just ditch me for new friends? For your brother? You got too comfortable. You had to be reminded of your place. My fists clench. You ruined her life because you were jealous? Emma shrugs. Oh, relax. People will move on in a few weeks. Maybe. She smirks again. Or maybe not. Lacey's shaking. I grab her hand and pull her away before I do something I'll regret. But one thing's clear, Emma started this. And we're going to end it. We walk away from Emma's house in complete silence. Lacey's still shaking, her face pale. I'm so pissed I can barely think straight. She admitted it, I say, mostly to myself. She straight up admitted it. Lacey lets out a hollow laugh. Yeah, and no one will believe us. She's right, you know? It's not about what's true, it's about who people want to believe. I exhale sharply. She's not wrong. But if Emma thinks we're just going to roll over and take this, she's dead wrong. We expose her, I say. Lacey gives me a tired look. How? She's careful. She didn't leave proof. Then we make her slip up. Lacey stares at me. What are you thinking? I pull out my phone and start typing. If she's so confident, let's see what happens when she thinks she's already won. A few minutes later, I show Lacey the screen. It's a text to Emma. Me, you win. Lacey's a mess. I just want this to be over. Can we talk? Lacey's eyes widen. You're baiting her. I nod. If she thinks I'm desperate, maybe she'll brag a little more. Lacey hesitates, then nods. Okay. Let's do it. Now we just have to wait. And something tells me Emma won't be able to resist. Emma takes the bait faster than I expected. 10 minutes after I send the text, my phone buzzes. Emma, finally seeing sense? Took you long enough? I don't respond right away. I let her stew, make her think I'm hesitant. Then, after a few minutes, I type back. Me, yeah. I need to understand why. Can we meet? She makes me wait this time, probably trying to decide whether she can trust me. Then. Emma, fine. The park. 8 p.m. Don't bring Lacey. Lacey reads over my shoulder, her fists clenched. She still thinks she's in control. I smirk. Not for long. At 7:45, I head to the park. But I'm not alone. Lacey's hidden behind a row of trees, and my phone? It's recording. Emma shows up exactly on time, wearing that same smug look she had at her house. So, she says, arms crossed, what's there to talk about? I put on my best defeated face. I just need to hear it from you. Why would you do this to Lacey? She sighs dramatically. Ugh, you're so dramatic. It's not that deep. Lacey got a little too comfortable, so I reminded her that I can take everything from her whenever I want. I keep my expression neutral, but inside, I'm furious. So you faked the texts? Emma smirks. Obviously. And guess what? No one cares. They'll believe whatever I tell them to. That's all I need. I end the recording. We have her. But just when I think we're finally turning this around, Emma leans in, lowering her voice. You really think this is over, she whispers. You don't get it, do you? I'm just getting started. A chill runs down my spine. Because from the way she's looking at me, I believe her. The second I get home, I send the recording to Lacey. She listens to it in silence, her face unreadable. When it ends, she looks up at me, eyes burning with something I haven't seen in days, determination. This is it, she says. This is how we end her. I nod. We post it. She hesitates. What if people still don't believe us? I think about it. Emma's right about one thing, people believe what they want to believe. But even the most loyal followers have a breaking point. And Emma just handed us her own confession. Then we make them believe, I say. We don't just drop the recording, we go all in. Lacey writes a full post explaining everything. How Emma faked the texts, how she manipulated people, how she admitted to everything. I attach the audio file and every screenshot we have of her shady behavior. Then, with a deep breath, I hit post. Within minutes, it blows up. At first, people are skeptical. The same jerks who were running their mouths before try to claim it's fake. But then, people start turning. Wait, why does Emma sound so damn proud of herself in this? Didn't she used to be best friends with Lacey? Why would she go this far? Yeah, no, this is messed up. She literally admits to ruining their lives for fun. Emma realizes what's happening fast. She tries to go on the defensive, posting some half-baked excuse about how we edited the audio. But people aren't buying it. Nah, girl, your voice is clear as day. Why would they fake evidence when you were the one spreading rumors? So you're saying they made a fake confession, but the fake texts were real? Make it make sense. Then the real kicker, someone digs up another situation where Emma spread lies about a different girl last year. Suddenly, the entire school sees her for what she really is. By the next morning, she's been completely exposed. But just when we think it's over, the school gets involved. And that's when everything really goes off the rails. The day after we post everything, it's like the world has exploded. People stop pretending. No more whispers in the hallway. Everyone knows now. Some kids are coming up to us in the halls, offering support. Others are straight up saying things like, Emma deserves everything she gets. But then there's the flip side. Emma's followers, the people who believed her over us, start attacking. They're posting memes with our faces, calling us liars, and saying we're just looking for attention. Someone even tries to start a rumor that Lacey lied about being manipulated. It's like they're trying to turn this whole thing into our fault. We ignore it at first. But then, it happens. In the middle of the day, we get called into the principal's office again. Mrs. Carter looks like she's been put through the ringer, but I can't even bring myself to feel sorry for her. She sighs when we sit down. We've received numerous complaints from both students and parents. Some believe the post you made was an attack on Emma's character. We need you two to remove it immediately. I can't believe what I'm hearing. We're the ones who are supposed to remove the evidence? No, I say flatly. You're not serious. I'm afraid we don't have much choice. Emma's parents have threatened legal action if the post remains up. And the school is being flooded with calls. You've created a disturbance. A disturbance. That's what this is now. Lacey looks like she's going to snap. You're punishing us for telling the truth? Mrs. Carter doesn't need our eyes. It's about the bigger picture. The school is not in a position to handle the fallout from this. I'm about to lose it, but then, it hits me. Emma isn't just trying to destroy us, she's playing the system. She knows exactly how to manipulate things to her advantage. She's got power. And that's when I make a decision. I'm not backing down, I say. The post stays. If she wants to sue us, then let her. Let's see how much power she has when the whole school sees exactly what she's done. Lacey looks at me with wide eyes. Are you sure about this? I'm done running. If we have to fight, we fight. All the way. But as I say it, I can feel the weight of what this means. If we push forward, it's not just Emma we're going up against. It's the entire school. It's everything. And that's when I realize this is just the beginning. The next few days feel like a war zone. The school is divided in ways I've never seen before. Half of the students are suddenly Team Lacey and me, supporting us for standing up to Emma. The other half? They're defending her, calling us dramatic, accusing us of lying, and demanding we take down the post. The pressure starts to get to both of us. People are talking behind our backs. Some of our friends stop talking to us altogether, afraid to get caught up in the mess. I overhear one of them whisper to another, "You know, Emma's not a bad person. She just made a mistake." And every time someone says something like that, my blood boils. A mistake? No. Emma didn't make a mistake. She purposely destroyed lives, and now we're paying the price. But here's the thing, despite all the noise, the school starts taking notice. They start investigating. Maybe it's because of the legal threats from Emma's parents, or maybe they're just trying to keep things from completely spiraling out of control. Either way, they're paying attention. Then, something unexpected happens. The principal calls us back in. Again. When we walk into the office, there's an air of tension that wasn't there before. Mrs. Carter's sitting behind her desk, but this time, she's not alone. Emma's parents are sitting across from her, looking way too calm for the situation. The woman next to them, who I don't recognize, is wearing a suit and has the kind of look that says she's ready to sue anyone and everyone. I feel my stomach twist. Mrs. Carter starts talking before I can even open my mouth. "We've come to a decision," she says, glancing at Emma's parents. "Given the circumstances, the school believes it's best for all parties involved if we try to come to a resolution before things escalate further." I shoot Lacey a glance, and she looks just as confused as I feel. Resolution? What resolution? Emma's dad finally speaks up, his voice smooth and icy. "We're prepared to settle this without involving lawyers if you two agree to remove the post, publicly apologize, and promise not to continue spreading false information about our daughter." I can't even process what I'm hearing. Apologize? For what? Lacey stands up straight, her face flushing with anger. "No. We're not apologizing for telling the truth." Emma's mom leans forward. "Your truth has ruined our daughter's reputation. She's been ostracized by the entire school. Maybe she deserves it," I shoot back. "Maybe she deserves to be exposed for what she is." And that's when things take a turn I wasn't expecting. The lawyer, who's been sitting quietly this whole time, pulls out a stack of papers. "If this matter goes to court, you both will be facing serious consequences. Defamation, emotional distress, the whole 9 yards. We can make this very difficult for you." I look at Lacey. She's shaking her head slowly, clearly not knowing what to do. And then, it hits me. We can't win if we fight this alone. But we don't have to. "We'll see you in court," I say, my voice steady but full of resolve. The lawyer laughs quietly. "You really want to do this?" I meet his gaze. "I do." And just like that, we've gone from being the victims of a high school rumor to being players in a real-world battle. I don't know what I expected to happen after we walked out of the principal's office, but it definitely wasn't this. The next day at school, something strange happens. We're used to the mixed reactions by now, some people glaring at us, some people whispering, and a few even offering support. But this day, there's a new feeling in the air. People are talking about us. I don't know if it's the fact that we've stood our ground or that we've somehow managed to turn the narrative on its head, but Emma's grip on the school is starting to loosen. And it's not just the students. After third period, we're called to the office again. And this time, it's not just the principal or Emma's parents. It's the lawyer. I almost turn around and walk out. I'm not scared of them anymore, not after everything we've been through. But then something unexpected happens. Mrs. Taylor, our history teacher, comes out of the office behind the lawyer, her face grim. I've never seen her like this. Mrs. Taylor is the kind of teacher who doesn't get involved in drama. She's always neutral. But there's something different about her today. She doesn't even look at the lawyer as she walks over to us. You two, come with me. I exchange a confused look with Lacey before we follow her into the teacher's lounge. Sit down, she says, her voice low. We do, still unsure of where this is going. Then, without saying anything else, she hands us a folder. I open it, and my heart drops. Inside are documents. Police reports, emails, and screenshots. Where did you get this? Lacey asks, her voice shaking. Mrs. Taylor's face softens just slightly. I've been teaching here for over 15 years. I've seen Emma's behavior before. She's been lying, manipulating people for a long time. But this time, she's gone too far. I didn't want to get involved at first, but when I saw what was happening to you two, she shakes her head. I couldn't just watch anymore. The documents in front of us tell a story. A pattern of Emma using others, spreading rumors, creating drama, and ruining lives. But there's more. There's evidence that she's done the same thing to other students in the past. Lacey looks at me, wide-eyed. She's done this before. Mrs. Taylor nods. And now we've got proof. I'm offering to testify on your behalf if you decide to go forward with this. My mouth goes dry. I'm not sure I can even process what she's offering us. But I don't have time to think about it. We've got a chance. For the first time in a long time, I feel like we're not alone in this. It's time. The hearing is set for the following week, and I can feel the tension building. We've spent the last few days gathering everything we can, testimonies, documents, and evidence. But now that we're standing in the courthouse lobby, waiting for the proceedings to start, it feels real. Almost too real. Lacey's holding my hand, squeezing it every few seconds as if she's trying to ground herself. She doesn't speak, but I can tell she's nervous. I am too. More than I care to admit. Mrs. Taylor stands beside us, her expression serious. Stay calm. Just tell the truth, and let the facts speak for themselves. You've got this. I nod, but my thoughts are spinning. What if it's not enough? What if Emma's lawyer twists the facts? What if they still turn it around on us? But there's no turning back now. We walk into the courtroom, and Emma's sitting there with her parents and the lawyer. She looks way too confident for someone who's about to face the consequences of what she's done. But then I see something that makes me pause. She's not looking at me. She's looking at Lacey. And there's something in her eyes, something cold. The trial begins, and it's everything I feared. The lawyer is sharp, throwing out accusations, calling our post an act of defamation, and trying to twist every piece of evidence to make us look like we're the ones at fault. But Mrs. Taylor's testimony is what changes the game. She stands up, walks to the witness stand, and drops a bombshell. For years, Emma has manipulated students in this school. She spread rumors, ruined reputations, and caused chaos behind the scenes. I've seen it happen with multiple students, but this time, she went too far. I'm testifying not just for Lacey and her brother, but for the students who never had a voice. The room goes silent. People are staring at Emma now, their faces changing as the truth comes out. Her lawyer looks uncomfortable. Emma's expression flickers, but she quickly recovers, standing up and interrupting. This is all a lie. None of it's true. I didn't do anything wrong. But Mrs. Taylor's testimony carries weight, and the evidence we've gathered starts to speak for itself. More people testify, and the floodgates open. Parents, students, even teachers come forward, all saying the same thing: they've seen Emma's manipulative behavior. They've known for years. The judge doesn't take long to make a decision. After a few moments, she looks up from her notes. Based on the evidence presented, the court finds in favor of the plaintiffs, Lacey and, your name. The defendant, Emma, last name, will be held accountable for her actions, including defamation and emotional distress. Furthermore, the school is advised to take appropriate action to ensure such behavior is not repeated in the future. I barely believe what I'm hearing. We won. Emma's face goes white. Her lawyer looks like he's just seen a ghost. And then, just as quickly, Emma's parents stand up, muttering to each other, their faces red with anger. The gavel falls. The case is over. Lacey looks at me, tears in her eyes. We did it. We actually did it. I nod, trying to hold it together. But inside, I feel like I've just been given back everything I thought I'd lost: our reputation, our dignity, and most of all, peace. Emma might have thought she could tear us apart. She might have thought she could control everything. But we showed her that the truth is stronger than anything she could have fabricated. We don't walk out of that courtroom as victims. We walk out as survivors. The end isn't perfect. There's still fallout. There's still healing. But the lesson is clear: don't let anyone control your narrative. Stand your ground, no matter how hard it gets. And when the truth is on your side, it will always win in the end. And that's how we beat Emma.